Well, hello there and welcome to issue number 137, and this issue is all about the Aries dragon. As you can see on the caption prior to the video, those are all the dates you have to be in this Western and Eastern Astrological combination. If there's any questions or if there's any dates you want to know of any of your family, like your grandparents or anything like that, great auntie, and you want to know what was 12 years previous to that, 24, 36, etc., just message me and I will give you any information that you need, and all your feedback is very, very welcome. Please join in if you feel you want to. Okay, let's start in the beginning then. Now, the Aries, as we know, is the ball of energy. It's the never giving up character. They will love to get into new stuff. They're very innovative. They're exceptionally sort of gifted with stamina and energy, and if you couple into the dragon into this, then you have a very, very powerful and dominant child, really from the early days. You'll even notice this going into nursery and then into the early years of school, how strong, dynamic, what a great speaker they are as well. There's just power surrounds them, and it's quite fascinating. The dragon does help the Aries to harness that nervous energy, or not so much nervous energy like that crazy energy that's going on where they want to be involved in this, that and the other. It harnesses it quite well with the dragon, because the dragon is a good overseer. They see the whole picture, because as we know, they're built for success. So you have to have the ability to step back, which the dragon does. But only to a certain extent. This is still a ball of fire, man. Just charging about into everything. As I say, teachers can find it very difficult to teach this character because of the energetic and the sheer dominance of them. They will question a lot of things, and that's from very early as well. It's not a thing where they're going to wait until they get into secondary school or college or anything like that. They'll be doing it quite young. They'll be going, well, hold on a minute, I'm not happy with this, I don't think that works. Or they will be brutally honest, and they will speak very well for themselves. They're quite advanced in speech, and they use the vocabulary. They're excellent like that. So they make a very strong case, as well as having the energy, the physical energy. They also have great mental energy, where they can, put people in their place with some real quick wits and some very sharp words, and say, well, hold on a minute, I don't agree with that, but I don't agree with it because of this, and they can reel off and say, well, that's why that's not working, or I don't agree with you there, teacher, or whatever they're involved in. They can just say, well, no, I'm not having it, and they make a very good case, and people follow them. They were a bit of a Pied Piper, the males and the females. People follow them because they think, do you know what, they've got the energy that can drag people with them. They can get a bit of a wave going, and they, as I say, they speak so well. They can speak for a generation even, in that sense, where they can speak for the whole class, and people go, well, hold on a minute, I think she's right, I think he's right, and they do gain momentum like that. So it's quite important in a sense for the teacher to keep this child on side, in a sense, by giving them plenty to do, letting them speak their mind, absolutely, but try and keep them busy, because you could have a revolt on your hand, because the Aries dragon could be saying to the kids, right, we're not having that anymore, and they will get a movement going. As I say, I think they're a fantastic speaker. I think the energy is so massive as well, even though it is slightly checked, ever so slightly, mind, but the intelligence then bounds through. Would they go to college? I don't know. I think there's just, as I say, this is bound for success, and I think they realise that. They realise that early. Their parents realise that early, because yes, they can have conflicts with their parents. We spoke about this, and there is a tendency for the Aries to keep quite childlike all the way through, and adore their family, their parents, but they're still going to be confrontational. They're going to be provocative. They're going to want to get out there. and be successful, because that's what they're geared to do. Their only enemy is themselves. That is the Aries dragon. That's their problem. If the ego's gotten so big where they feel as though they're invincible, then, you know, that's the only time they can slip up. But if they keep on control of everything, harnessing that energy, using their dialects, using their great way of communication with people, getting people on side, they're fantastic, and I say they're going to get success. And it's only a matter of time for you to watch them on their journey. They can hit success at a young age, and boom, they're away. But they are their own worst enemy. You've got to learn this with the Aries dragon. It's great that they've got loads of friends to keep an eye out. So come on, you're getting a bit over the top. It's a bit overzealous. It's a bit too powerful. It's just a bit too domineering, or something like that. They're going to need those people to check them back. Will the dragon listen? May do to close people. May well do. They don't mind listening occasionally, but they have to give you advice. So you could say, I've taken on board what you said, but how about this? Check it back a bit, because that's the only thing that will get them in trouble, or find them out where the ego's got too big, because this is a success-oriented sign. I can't see them failing. You know, and as I say, they keep their wits about them, keep a little bit level, don't lose that dynamicism. I don't want you losing that at all. I want you having that complete raw energy, which is your you know, which is your saviour, which is you. Don't lose that, but just keep the feet planted a little. That's all we need to plant them ever so slightly. They could go into anything, politics, trade unions, any union thing. You know, they're going to be speaking up, and they're going to be bang, and they're going to be hard. They're going to be hard to speak down, because, as I say, they're articulate, and they are very, you know, powerful. They get a movement going. They get a movement going. They're very, very strong. So they could do any number of things like that. Working in the public, definitely. Councillors, etc., mayors, that sort of thing, you know, and they will put their town on the map. You know, they will really put their town on the map, and you know, they will be thinking of the people there. But you're going to have to trust them. You're going to have to follow them and say, right, yeah, them. And they will talk sense. They don't sugarcoat anything. So you've got to be quite tough-natured to be around them, very possibly, or you know, look deep inside where there is a massive generous streak, and their energy is normally, you know, expended for others, and you know, their intelligence is expended for others. So that in itself is a massively generous act. And plus, they will be very generous with matters of the heart. The dragon always is. The Aries is as well. They put everything in. They just can suffer burnout sometimes, where they put everything into the early days, and then it wanes ever so slightly, and they think, oh, you know, it's just a momentum. But the dragons keep the momentum going, so we don't have to worry about that. If we look at the best matches for the Aries dragon, well, we have to go monkeys. Okay, I spoke about how the dragon can be a little harsh and a little bit domineering. Well, it's great for the monkey, that, because the monkey feels a safety. They feel like someone's got their back. They feel as though, you know, they're having an anxious one up, but all the time they're by the side of the dragon. You know, the dragon's powerful enough, and it takes them both through. Plus, with the monkeys, with their ideas, the dragon will listen. You know, the monkeys are very innovative themselves, and they do come up with enhancements of ideas. So that's a really, really good thing if they join forces. And they make, you know, they do make a great couple as well, and it's very innovative. And as I say, new things can definitely happen when these two are together. New innovative policies and, you know, ways of doing stuff which could have been traditional, and they've, you know, throw the tradition out the window. They will, you know, get some real electric and, you know, clever ideas together. So let's look for the monkeys under Gemini, under Leo, under Sagittarius, and under Aquarius. There are your best monkey matches, absolutely. And also, let's try the rat family. The rat family loves security, we know that, and they're great guarders of wealth, which is very good for the dragon, because the dragon, generous spirit, sometimes generous too much, you know, sometimes they just go, whoa, they're all or nothing, so they just wave it all there. The rat will keep a bit back for a rainy day. They'll be very good at holding the purse strings. So when the dragon turns around and goes, oh, you know, or I went a bit crazy, well, okay, I've tucked that away. I didn't tell you about where it is, and then the dragon will really appreciate that, and that dedication that the rat puts in. You know, the rat's a very good listener. They love to be, you know, swooned after, and very, you know, claustrophobe. They love that. They love the intensity of that. They love the dragon's, you know, all powerfulness. They really look up to them in a real sort of, you know, iconic way. So they make a great match. So let's look for the Gemini rat, the Leo rat, the Sagittarius rat, and the Aquarius rat. All fantastic matches. The ones we have to avoid for the Aries dragon is going to be dogs. Dogs of any kind, and especially this dragon combination, because whoa, they'll be too much for the dog. The dog won't know where they're coming or going, and the dog's quite pessimistic in a way, but in a nice, balanced, down-to-earth way. They'll be saying, your theories, your ideas, you're a megalomaniac. This is crazy. You know, think of these implications. Think of that. The dragon won't listen. They're bombing on. They're saying, no, you stick with me. And the dogs get thrown out. They get disorientated very, very quickly around the dragon. They don't know whether they're coming or going, and that's when they can turn. They can get vicious. So we don't want this match ever starting, really. We really don't. It's not wise, because it ends up in a bit of a, you know, a real battle at an aggressive time, and it brings out the worst in both of them. So please avoid each other. And it, you know, both sides, I have no preference on either of these, but it's just best for both of them, you know, just avoid, and it takes away that messy ending which always happens. If we look about the health of the Aries dragon, well, we have to go for migraines, stuff like that, all mental, because they're rushing here, there and everywhere. They do really take stress. Aries can get stress in the mind, and it's migraines. They can get plagued by that quite badly, so be careful of them. And also keep that feeling of invincibility in check, because at the end of the day we are all mortal. Although this is a tough cookie, we're still all mortal, and you know, keep an eye on that, getting too overzealous and really being too dynamic, because there can be burnout, even though the dragon is got immense energy. But there's still, you know, a time where it could be physical exhaustion that does unend you, does unearth you. So you just be watchful, and make sure you get enough recreation. Well, thank you for joining me for this issue, and please join me for the next one. Thank you.